Love Crisis, or OLC, as most people know you guys, right? So I have to ask, because I don't think I know this, how did OLC come up with your name? When did it jump from Overseas Love Crisis to OLC, and where did it come from?
Almost immediately.
Almost immediately?
Days.
Yeah.
Too much of a mouthful? Is
Yeah.
that what it was?
It really was, because it took us forever to come up with a name that all four of us liked. We talked about this, and then we threw out a whole bunch of different things, and it was always 3 guys liked it, and 1 guy was like, no, I'm not going to go by that. And so we finally found that we liked the name Crisis, right? And then I think we just paired some other words with it.
It was like me, you, and David were just throwing.
That was before I was even in the band.
Are you sure that was before Ben?
No, we
was
had the
absolutely
overseas. Now the question she asked was overseas to OLC.
Right.
That was with me.
Was it?
Yeah, that was because mainly I did not want to have to go to a construction job site where I work and be like, yo, dude, I am in the band Overseas Love Crisis, and then
The L is.
You know what? I
that's
remember
a
that.
hard. I've always struggled with the L word, so.
This was actually right around the time when they had those big terrorist attacks in Paris. I remember this now. And
Okay.
David, who was our fill-in drummer, he was like, I feel like Overseas Love Crisis is the people are going to think about Paris, and they're not going to like this.
That was actually Kenny. Kenny brought that up to us because he was our manager at the time.
So that was that because it was
Because
definitely when I
he
was
said
still
that
in the
it would
band.
be a problem, and me and you both were like, nah.
We can't agree how we came upon our name.
So it was a little controversial though, so that's kind of
Yeah.
how it made the jump to just OLC.
We
Just
figured
sounds better.
OLC looks
Sounds
better
better.
on paper.
Gotcha.
If you announce it,
You have
it's
to
cool,
pay by
yeah.
letter on certain
Right,
things.
right.
We're broke.
Financial strategies here, gotcha. Okay. So, what's everybody's favorite show you guys have played so far?
That's easy.
Is it?
Yeah, Royal Skate Shop in Lansing. That was sick.
Okay. When was that?
2 years? No, that wasn't 2 years ago. That was-
January 2017.
Yeah. Yep. I was
Is
still-
that everybody's across the board?
No.
No? What's yours?
No.
Gotcha. What's yours, Brett?
I really, really enjoyed playing at the Garrett High School show choir competition.
Yeah, that's
We had a giant crowd of like 300 plus people, and I tell you, I have never played for a cooler crowd in my life. I mean, they shouted for our entire set, and it was the coolest feeling ever.
That's
And
awesome.
we played Radioactive, and as soon as we started, you see everybody's phones in the crowd light up doing that
Aw,
lighter thing.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Oh, it was the coolest thing ever.
I bet.
Yeah.
Very nice. You have any other?
I'd probably go with the stereotypical one and say when we played Pierre's, the CKY, that one was just
Okay,
such a big
okay,
stepping stone
yeah,
for us.
yeah,
that,
definitely.
That was
it was like an alright show for us to play, but it felt like such a big event for us.
Mhm.
And we were opening for CKY.
Yeah, that's
that-
huge.
It was
Childhood
like,
That's pretty
favorite
big.
band right there. Like,
Right.
that was.
it wasn't like
Jess
as fun a
Margera.
show as what they'd said, but it was like a big thing. For
Yeah.
me.
Met
So,
Jess Margera.
mhm.
Like we got to hang
Yeah.
out with Jess Margera. That was
Well,
tight.
I didn't meet him. I
No,
was
I-
probably in the
You
bathroom.
were there in spirit.
I was losing my mind.
We were
Very
thinking
cool.
of
What would you think Chase's favorite one would be?
you. Ooh.
Honestly, I'd say that Brass Rail show we played with Spence.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's.
Yeah,
that's
he was hyped.
I've
up
heard him
after
talk
it,
about that one a
actually.
lot. We played at the Brass
Mhm.
Rail. It was our first and only time, and we played with a band that was touring called Spence, and we had just a killer set. And Chase has talked about it. Like every time we kind of bring this up, he's brought it up to me that's the Brass
So
Rail
that's
show.
probably his favorite.
Yeah.
He was the only one that right after that show was like super excited.
I was pretty hyped
No,
about it.
I was too.
I was
for
pretty. He
sure.
was
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was like the moon. Like I was like,
Mhm.
man, boys, that was a fantastic set. And James was like, oh my god. So
Well, we had a lot of
Awesome.
people out there to see us.
Yeah.
and we were the
Yeah.
last ones to play,
Mhm.
and everybody was like, "Fuck yeah, we've been waiting for
Oh, yeah, we
OLC."
did play last
And we
time.
just hit the stage, and everybody was like,
That's awesome.
Yes.
"Yeah."
That's really cool that you all have like different favorite shows
Mhm.
too. Like I like that
Royal
for
was
sure.
the best though.
Gotcha.
Royal was cool,
Mhm.
and we're going back to Royal.
Oh yeah.
We are, yeah, with the album release, which I'm sure we'll be talking about in a little bit.
Perfect. All right. So moving along, what's the most difficult part about being in a band?
Working with goons.
Working with you.
Working with Brett.
So I take it you're the goon.
Schedules.
Well, I feel like Brett thinks that we are the goons, and then the
Yeah.
working with the goons thing would be working with us. I just came out and said my piece.
Yeah. All right. So what's the best part?
About being in the band.
Yep.
Working with goons.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. I mean, we've just gotten so many. Is your phone off?
No, I just declined the call.
No, yeah. Why isn't it off?
Because I didn't think about it. So, like I said, working with Brett is the worst part. For sure. Best part would
Yeah,
be-
you know, I'm gonna turn around on the schedules thing.
Best part would be being an adult and having my phone out whenever I want. That would be the best part of being a fan.
Except your mom tells you no.
Well, yeah.
No, I think for me, I mean, we've just had so many opportunities open up. Because I've wanted to be a rock star since I was 12 years old. I mean, you know, I had all those album covers, and I would look at the people on those covers that were in the bands, and I was like, I want to be this guy. And then I'd pop the CD in, and I'd picture myself being up there on that stage, playing their music, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be me one day. And then, I mean, you know, I'm not famous like Fall Out Boy or you know, whoever else you may name out. But I've played some huge stages, and I've played for some huge crowds, and I've met some amazing people along the way. And I mean, you know, I think people like our music, so that's really cool.
That's actually like the weirdest part to come around on is that it's like, oh, you like the things that we're doing.
Yeah, she likes it.
Right,
You
you
like
actually
it.
like this.
Yeah.
That's tight. I can do more.
Yeah.
I can,
Rap.
yeah, like I can do more of that if that's what you're into.
Awesome.
And there really is that feeling of that, though. I mean, coming into any scene, really, whether you're an artist, any kind of art that you do, you're always like, you know, where's the balance of between this art that I want to craft and what other people are going to think of it? You know, do I go all out and just do whatever I want to do and say, fuck it, I don't care what anybody else thinks? Which is tough to do in this setting, because when it comes down to it, we are entertainment, we're a business. We need other people to like us if we're going to succeed. You know, that's a part of it. And so it's like, where do you draw that line? Are people going to like this song that I'm getting ready to release and all this stuff? And so, I mean, Blake is right. That is something that I think we're all still wrapping our heads around a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure. So, what are your major influences with your music?
That is a.
Anything and everything,
Do you-
probably.
Do you have anything but everything really?
Yeah.
Do you have the time for that? Like.
We all have
Briefly.
vastly different influences.
I figured
And it's-
everybody kind of had their own thing that they kind of
Do we just
enjoy
wanna,
and bring to the table.
Do like a real quick down the line.
Sure,
kinda
sure, we
deal?
can do that.
I guess.
Well, do you remember our top albums we did for the From the Depths
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
interview?
yeah,
We
yeah.
could do that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the top albums are definitely my main influences
Okay.
for me. But like, what made me want to be a musician was guys like Johnny Cash, and like on one side of the genre spectrum, and then on the other side would be like Buddy Rich, the drummer. He was an old jazz drummer from like the '50s, and he was really like made a big impression on me, and that was cool. Anything rock, I was super into rock, and then a lot of hip hop too. So Aesop Rock, you know, Brother Ali, guys like that, all made me kind of want to be a musician. So that was my influences.
How about you, Brett?
I definitely remember being really, really young and in my mom's van in the back seat, and Santeria by Sublime came on. And I would always sing the line, I ain't got no crystal balls. And I don't know why. It's just like, I was like, I'm a boy, I got balls. And so this just makes sense.
But they ain't crystal, you
But
know,
they ain't
like,
crystal, exactly. But it comes down to those memories for me. I mean, I was always doing music as a kid. I was always singing and beating on stuff. And I remember chewing my Cheerios in rhythm, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You did that too.
That's cool.
I did not.
I used to chew in rhythm all the time.
Yeah, I remember my brother yelling at me like, dude, stop it.
That's interesting.
And yeah, definitely, you know, and I'm sure that's how it is for anybody. It's the music your parents listen to.
Absolutely.
Actually, like, not at all for me.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom listened to like heavy '80s rap
Really?
my entire childhood.
See,
Yes.
I've met his mom on numerous
She's the
occasions.
sweetest lady. But the first CDs I borrowed from her were Doggy Style from Snoop Dogg and The Chronic from Dr. Dre. heavy rap albums.
What up, Karen?
And like, I mean, they had like stellar bass lines in them, but but I mean, I didn't even start to play bass until like 5 or 6 years ago. Like when I met you, I was like a year into learning how to play bass.
Really?
So
Okay.
I mean, my influences are still pretty new. You know, like ones like punk bands like Bouncing Souls or Clash are the main ones, or there's still those bands that I said before, like Dr. Dre. Their bassists are phenomenal. So it's a really mixed variety for me still. I'm
Nice.
still finding tones that I like
Right.
and everything.
Absolutely. That's cool though. Everybody's got kind of their own thing. So.
Mhm.
Mm.
Makes it sound super weird, but
but people dig
But it
it, and
works
that's
out.
what's important.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
worked
it's
thus
working
far.
out.
That's how our Johnny Cash cover came about.
Mhm.
Which
We
a
just-
lot of people really love that. That's awesome. That's the one thing I tell people when I'm like, hey, you gotta come check out this band OLC. You'll really like them. Like they're not like my other weird music. And they do a Johnny Cash cover even. I mean, they're kind of weird,
Yeah,
but
that's
Yeah.
Johnny
that's
Cash
the
though. Like,
easiest
come
knock
on.
on the door for me.
My idea. My idea.
It totally was Ben's idea. The very first time we ever performed as a group, it actually wasn't plugged in, it was acoustic.
Oh yeah.
At IPFW, which is now Purdue Fort Wayne, there's no more I in that, the Music Therapy Club recital, because I was a member of Music Therapy Club. And I was like, yeah, you know, we just got this band. We're gonna go play. This is gonna be our first ever show. It's gonna be cool. And we're like all in suits, and you can see photos of this online. All four of us like in our dress up clothes, and we kind of look cool. And then we have some goof off photos. But we were trying to find songs to play for that, and Ben was like, yeah, like a while ago, I did this Johnny Cash cover once, and we were like,
Sure.
well, okay, yeah, I guess.
And this was your first show, you said?
Ever,
Yeah.
first
Ever?
ever time performing in front of
And
an
when was
audience.
this?
When?
Oh,
When?
man.
Man.
March 2016.
I thought you were about to get the date.
I know. I mean,
Actually,
wow, Brett.
If I had to guess on the date, we can go back and check this after the video, but I would say March 16th, 2016. But I could definitely be wrong.
Or we play some bets. I'll say March.
Now I can tell you our first plugged-in performance was May 7th, 2018, because it was the end of the school year. for
Yeah.
Oh,
IPFW.
really?
Yeah.
We actually had to throw it here.
Uh-huh.
Like we wanted to do a plug-in set, and we had no venues or anything on our resume.
And that was your first plug-in?
we
set?
did. We were like, let's throw a party and
Right
play
here.
it.
So were you guys just all acoustic pretty much before that then?
No,
Or
we didn't want to be.
yeah.
No.
Well, what it came down to was at that Music Therapy Club fundraiser, we weren't going to bring a bunch of drums and stuff because it's a small space,
Mhm.
you know. So if we bring in amps and drums, we're going to blow everybody.
And those
out of the
people were
water.
not looking for that.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah, they weren't at
not
all.
here. It was like a silent auction afterwards. They were not trying to hear rock.
And there was probably like a tuba solo before us. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So it was like some ensemble shit.
That was a clarinet.
It was probably a tuba clarinet duo.
Oh,
Violins and
that
shit.
sounds up on card.
So that's why we did it acoustic. But then we were just like, you know, maybe we should bring the Johnny Cash song to the plugged in set, and we couldn't decide. Should we do it funky because we like to play funk music,
Mhm.
or should we do it like super speed punk? We were like, it could go both ways.
This was also my idea.
No, it
It was-
wasn't.
That was
It
actually-
it was
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, I said
Yeah.
my influence for that song, the reason I brought up the idea was the song Sad Man's Tongue by Volbeat, because in the beginning, and I said it as an example, because I also wanted to cover that song, but in the beginning they do a slowed down halftime, like kind of groovy southern beginning, and then they go speed punk right after that, and I was in a huge Volbeat phase when we did that.
No, I'm pretty sure I brought it up, and then you're like, oh, that sounds like that Volbeat song.
What's your next question?
No chance. Me.
So what's your guys' favorite song for Forum? I know I've heard Neon Trees out of probably Ben. I think you told me that.
Neon Churches.
Yeah.
Neon
Or
Trees.
Yeah, yeah.
Trees.
Neon Churches
Yeah,
is still
yeah.
mine.
Okay,
So
that's
that's your favorite
still
song
yours.
to perform?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Are we going off of old songs or songs we're about to release? Because it definitely changed once we wrote the new album.
Yeah.
Let's do old and then you can say your new.
Old was for sure Still Okay, which is actually going to be on the new album.
But it's been around for a minute.
We've been performing that, yeah, since it's been
Oh, man.
over a year.
Yeah.
I think November will be 2 years since we've been playing that song. I got all these dates up here. Thank you.
He's actually guessing.
I'm guessing, yeah. None of this
No
is
one in this
accurate.
room can correct him, so he's
You need to crop
These are
every
right.
single part of that out. Yeah, we've been playing that song for years, and I've loved it for every single second. And we stole the style a little bit from another local band called Continue the Story, which we played with them at O'Sullivan's once, and I loved them. Their music is really cool.
Yeah.
But they use this a lot, at least I remember them using a lot, where it'll be like this halftime section goes doom da doom doom da kind of esque, but then he's riding on a crash, and so it's this big old halftime feel, and this just wash of like one note, and so I was like, I want to do that at some point with an OLC song, and so Chase brought Still Okay, and I was like, this is it. And so when that bridge is Still Okay, you hear that and then it drops with the full band, and Chase and Blake are just running on that C note the whole time, and there's lead lines, and then it just like, it's a wave of sound is what it
He's
is.
nerd now.
Yeah, and continued the story, did that multiple times in their set, and I thought it was so cool, and so I just love that part and Still Okay.
So that's your favorite old one to play.
Old one, yes,
Favorite new.
is either going to be Rescue Me or Every Breath.
Mine's My Eyes. The new one would have to be My
Yeah.
Eyes.
Yeah, well, you're rapping on that.
No.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Other than that one, Rescue Me, hands down.
Yeah.
Rescue Me is sick.
Rescue Me is great. Every Breath is really cool. It's a close second though.
They are right there too. They're both super cool songs.
Blake, what's your favorite old one to play?
Mine's definitely gonna be Still Okay for old or new. I don't
Old
know
or
why.
new, hands
but
down.
It's
I
so
love
good.
it. I love
It's
playing
so
that
good.
bass line. So.
Very cool. Alright. So what do you think your fans' favorite song would be?
Anything but everything.
Yep.
That's the one we've got.
Every
Everything,
single
everything,
time.
and neon churches. Are the
Yeah.
ones that we
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
However, we do have a lot of people that will always sing Dangerous.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
sing the
They'll
hook for
sing it.
Dangerous.
I will say Dangerous was the first one that caught my attention, however,
Really?
it's not my favorite.
What's your favorite? We're gonna interview you
Oh,
now.
Lord. Okay. Can I have 3?
Yeah, I know where
Yeah,
you have to
three
say the
to
best and then the worst.
Yeah.
Well, there's different categories here. So, like,
Okay.
All In and Wannabe are, like, my hype songs. You know?
Yeah.
Like, those are the ones that you guys you go all out for it, and so do we, I feel. Like, that energy, we just match it. So, that's really nice. But Anything But Everything's gonna make me cry, like, every time I hear it. So,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, in a good way. It's a
Those
very
lyrics
good
are
way.
heavy.
They are.
Yeah.
They really are, though.
And actually, there's a recording of the original version of Anything But Everything. We have plans with this recording. We're not going to say too much about it because I don't want to give it away. But you will, sometime in the near or distant future, hear the very original version of Anything But Everything, which we don't perform.
Okay.
The lyrics are definitely heavier in the original.
Really?
we
You,
toned it
you
down
can
a
find
little
it online.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy that because we didn't write it.
Yeah, I remember you
Yeah,
saying that.
Fish and Chase used to do the song, and they made a recording of it, and yeah.
Nice.
bit. Fish is a wonderful songwriter, though.
Well, I will have to do some research then, huh?
Mhm.
Dig deep. All right. So what are you guys looking forward to the most for the future of OLC? The album release, I'm assuming.
Selling out.
Selling out, yeah.
Just waiting for that moment to pop. Sign that dotted line, and we're gonna be slaves.
Right now we get one slice of free pizza. I want a whole.
I want the pizza,
free
man. I just want to get big enough to sell out basement shows. That's like
Basement
dirty,
shows where it's
dirty,
at, though, yeah.
grungy,
Yeah.
like, hot basement shows where everyone's like, there is
In,
no
like, the middle
difference
of
between
nowhere,
the, yeah,
too.
yeah,
But
and,
they
like,
find out
people drive out
OLC's
for it.
playing, like,
yeah, they're like, we gotta go, like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to be like secret show in this basement, be there tonight, and then like people show
Packed.
up, yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
and like it only
That's
it would only,
success,
it would only
yeah.
have to be like 40 people, like,
Yeah.
and like if only 40 people know our stuff, but then they're like, we'll pack that basement and there's no separation between stage and band and crowd and everyone's just one mosh.
someone gets puked on.
That's the
Gotta
dream.
have that,
That's
yeah.
the goal
That's the
right
dream
there.
right there.
Is watching dude
It's
get
gonna be
puked on
me
to
that
my
gets puked.
song.
Awesome.
The only one that doesn't drink is gonna be me. That gets